Zen Ray here. Happy 4th of July to all Nick Nation, my band of brothers. We'll be with Juby the Tubi. I'll bring him right now. Juby the Tubi, family above everything. Happy 4th of July.
Appreciate you guys. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Be safe. Thank you, everybody, at Zenray Sports TV for having me. And thank you, everybody, for continuing to comment, like, and share. We love the interaction. We love the comments. And without you guys, this would not be possible. So, again, thank you from the bottom of our heart. And you already know.
All right. Thank you, Juby, for your introduction there. And welcome you and everyone from family above everything. But before we start, I want to show you something. It's been a cat and mouse game here. And this is between Leon Rose and the assassin, Danny Ainge. So watch this closely, and we'll be back in a few. Stand by.
Never give up. Never give up. Knowing that the best is yet to come with love, peace, and gratitude.
Zen Ray is back with Juby the Tubi, family above everything. And that was a cat and mouse game that's happening between Leon Rose and Danny Ainge.
We already know who Danny Ainge is in that little video that you just posted. Just by his facial expression, you can tell who he is.
He wants to eat up Leon Rose on this deal, definitely. And he had the olives ready, and he had the fork and knife ready to slice Leon Rose. But Nick Nation, give us your opinion. Should the Knicks give up 4 number 1 picks? And they're even asking for Barrett.
Don't touch my guy. Leave my guy.
You could probably pull Barrett off, and you could probably add Cam in there, and they still want the 4 number 1 picks. We know what happened with the Rudy Gobert trade. Danny Ainge is out there. So give me some feedback, Juby, of what's really going on here. And what do you think? Should the Knicks to meet Donovan Mitchell's asking price? Do you blame them, Juby?
I don't. But here's the problem where we stand right now. The NBA has come to a place where premiums are being super, super high for players who are not superstar caliber players. We saw somebody from OKC, I believe it's Duarte, who just got $87 million for 3 years. This is where we are, ladies and gentlemen. And it's just absurd. I know everybody's keeping tabs on Kevin Durant and what they're asking for. And I know we just all witnessed what the Utah Jazz just did to Minnesota. And for those of you guys who think that was a great deal for Minnesota, Danny Ainge took them to the cleaners. Not to mention they're going to be paying Rudy Gobert's contract through the nose for the next few years. Just the assets that they took back and the future that they got back in order to jumpstart their organization again. And listen, from a Knicks standpoint of view, Jalen Brunson, I'll touch up on that very quickly. His asking price was not as bad as everybody thinks. It was 26 million, depending on how it's broken down in the next 4 years. It may be descending or it may be a flat rate. More than likely, if I'm Knicks management, it's probably going to be start off high and decrease. So it's going to be descending, which is a good thing for the market for us because it gives us some flexibility with some players that are going to become available in the future. So he got 26 million. You look at some of these other point guards in the NBA, they're making 30 million plus, and some players are making that amount. So it's what the NBA has become.
But I just want to elaborate back on what Jalen Brunson and people are complaining about how much money he's gotten. I have someone who agrees with you. Now, let me warn you, the video I'm about to show you, definitely rated triple R. If there's such a thing. There's a lot of F bombs here, but this is a big Nick fan. I want you to listen to what he has to say. More rated R than anything else. So just watch this.
It wouldn't be a New Yorker Knicks fan if it wasn't rated R. So let's
Exactly.
go.
So just watch this for a second and give me your opinion, Nick Nation, after we watch this.
Fucking shitting me. This fat fuck signs for 5 years, $193 million, 5 years max contract, but everybody's sucking dick. Oh my God, Ingram, Zion, Valanciunas, CJ. Oh my God, they're gonna be amazing. But nobody's saying that they overpaid for him. Motherfucker played 3 games in fucking like 4 to 3 years. This motherfucker ate more cheeseburgers than he actually played basketball. But everybody's praising him for getting a motherfucking max contract. But the Knicks haters are quick to bash the Knicks organization because they overpaid Brunson a max contract, $100 million for 4 years or some bullshit like that. What y'all need to do is get off the Knicks' dick and start talking shit about this motherfucker who eats more cheeseburgers than he plays basketball. Oh, let me guess, he still has a leg injury. Get the fuck out of here with these excuses.
Get out of here with these excuses. Get out of here.
Let me just say that. Let me just say this much. He made his point, and his point is very valid. You can take a little bit of the F bombs and other kind of rated R material out, but his point is well documented. How the Knicks are always being bashed, and this is something I just want to say, Juby. The media, everyone loves to work on negativity, but let me just say that's part of being this tough skin type of mentality you mention all the time, how you have to be in New York because you're going to feel the heat if you don't produce. You're going to feel the heat if you do some unseen gestures the way Julius Randle did and a couple of Knicks in the past. So you have to have that swag and that thick skin like you always mentioned, Juby. Mitchell, should the Knicks pull the trigger and what would you give up for Donovan Mitchell?
Well, listen, well said. Like you said, Zenray, you got to be thick-skinned. You got to be ready to become with the Heat to play in this city. It seems like Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving can't take the Heat anymore, so they're asking out. But that's another story for another day, or maybe we'll touch up on that later on, that their asking prices is. But as far as Donovan Mitchell right now, at his stage of his career, the man is excellent basketball player, a bona fide superstar, a game-changing player who any organization would be happy to have him, including myself and the New York Knicks. At the price, that is the question now. And I'll tell you why. You want 5 draft picks for R.J. Barrett and a Cam Reddish? Perfectly fine. I'll give it to you. You want 5 draft picks and a second rounder? Cam Reddish and somebody else? I'll give you that as well. It's a little bit crazy giving up that many first-round picks, but for me personally, Donovan Mitchell is worth that picks. What he's not worth, and I will continue to irradiate, is this man standing right behind me, Mr. Broadway himself, R.J. Barrett, who averaged 20 points, who's coming to his own, who is still young and has an upside to his basketball game, who can be better than Donovan Mitchell, who can be better than a lot of players in the NBA. Only time will tell. We still don't know. What we know is that he took a big leap last season from the player that was averaging 16 points to a player that was averaging 20, who was taking big shots, who is the leader of the team, who is not afraid to take the last shot and be the man of New York, something that we've been looking for. And if you pair that with a Brunson and an Obi Toppin and the young guys, I said it before, sky's the limit. Now, I said that Donovan Mitchell will take us to that next level rapidly. We'll make us instant Eastern Conference contenders. Not to say that with the team that we have, maybe a couple of tweaks, possibilities can be that we can be Eastern Conference contenders within the next season or two. It's just how fast do you want to get there? What is Tom Thibodeau's timeline? What is Knicks management timeline? And what is us fans' timeline? Because a lot of fans, including myself in the past, are tired of mediocre, and we want nothing but the best from the orange and blue guys.
Well said, Juby. I agree. The timeline is there. I think Leon Rose is smart enough to know that if you bring a Donovan Mitchell here, it changed the whole dynamic to the team. And I think Nick Nation will agree with that. I mean, so we didn't get the players earlier that we lost to Atlanta, Murray. That was kind of something that we were looking forward to. But I think Leon Rose, like I'm saying, he has a plan. He's building that foundation. He knows what Donovan Mitchell is made of. And you combine him with Jalen Brunson, who doesn't need to score. What perfect person to bring in here than Donovan Mitchell? But if you have to give up draft picks and a player like RJ, that's a no-no. I'll tell you, what you have to do is, I don't mind too much of the draft picks, but you cannot give up a player like RJ Barrett. And I don't even mind a Cam Reddish, okay? I don't mind that because you have a Quentin Grimes behind there waiting. So that's more playing time for him. And you possibly have still a Fournier here. But let's see what happens. I want you to listen to this gentleman. And he speaks about going for it. And listen to this very closely, Juby.
What's up, Knicks Twitter? It's Papa Left. I'm on my morning walk 4 miles in. And I'm going to tell you why the Knicks should trade the picks, preferably for Donovan Mitchell. I don't care about the fit and none of that. Here's why they should trade the picks. It reminds me of a situation when I was a kid and I caught the feels for a girl that I wasn't ready for. And all my big homies were like, yo, Left, you're not ready for that. I'm trying to tell you. And I was like, no. That was the Knicks after the 4th seed. People were trying to tell them, probably within the organization, yeah, we probably shouldn't make all these deals for these free agents right now. Should probably realize that, like, we still need to take steps. No, they said, fuck it. I want to compete. Tibbs is like, I told you so. I got this bitch. And then we just let him go. So you're holding on to picks that doesn't even relate to the makeup of how you operate. So just go all in. It's not what I would do, but this is what they're doing, so do it.
So thank you. Thank you, Papa Left. I mean, he wasn't as rated R as the other gentleman, but he made his point across. Listen, Papa Left, a big Knicks fan. I love watching him because he's very knowledgeable of the game and the Knicks. I mean, he knows his Knicks basketball, and I appreciate you, Papa Left. So getting back to what he was saying, Juby, the question is, who is going to have the last laugh? Who is it? Is it Leon Rose? Is it Danny Ainge, the assassin, who just got draft picks and 4 draft picks and 4 players from Minnesota? Who's going to have the last laugh? That's the question.
That's Danny Ainge right there. That's his alter ego.
No, that's alter ego, exactly. And I'm hope he's not laughing all the way to the bank of all these assets that he is picking up along the way. And I don't want the Knicks to go overboard. So I'm looking at the Knicks, the only team probably that can offer the assets that Danny Ainge is looking at, and some players that we have that may be available to Danny Ainge because he wants to go young. He's not going to want a Julius Randle. He's not going to want a Fournier. You're looking at Cam Reddish, a Quentin Grimes, a Quickly, and so on, and McBride maybe, players to that nature. The question is, what player are you willing to give and how many assets? Can you give them 3 number ones? And they have to be unprotected number ones. Like we give ours, Dallas, and maybe we can give them a 2025 number 1 pick from ours. I think that'll work, but give me your opinion, Juby. Should the Knicks swing for the fences and just offer them 3 number ones unprotected and give them maybe a Cam Reddish? What do you think? Is that something you think Danny Ainge would settle for?
I don't think Danny Ainge would settle for that. I think Danny Ainge will go swing and go big. He'll go big or go home. I think he'll ask for 4 number ones unprotected, which me personally, I don't have a problem doing. And I'll tell you what, guys, these picks were obtained to create flexibility for us, not to store and keep them in an Indian in the cupboard, if you will, and hope for a superstar to one day come in the future, or for us to develop a superstar. This was meant to trade as an asset chip to get that bona fide superstar who wants to come here. Donovan Mitchell wants to come to New York. He doesn't want to play for Brooklyn because you would hear Kevin Durant for Donovan Mitchell right now. Those are not the talks. You're hearing Donovan Mitchell. You're seeing him in Citi Field. You're seeing him have dinner with Emmanuel Quickly. He loves the Knicks. He loves the New York City spotlight, and he wants to be here. Now, can Danny Ainge make that happen for him? He's gonna sit there and say, "I understand. I'm a nice guy, but I'm gonna get. I need my stuff is back as well. I need my goods." So his goods, in my opinion, are gonna be 4 unprotected number 1 draft picks. You heard it here first. A Cam Reddish, and I honestly think it'll have to be one more younger player from us. Not Obi Toppin. I really don't want to part with Emmanuel quickly. Grimes, I really don't want to part with him either, but I would understand if he would take a Grimes or a Miles McBride. I would be okay with Miles McBride if he didn't take quickly, only because we have Brunson and then we have quickly staying in the backcourt. But I'm just saying, you're right. I think Danny Ainge is swinging high. I think he'll come down and meet halfway. Right. It all depends on when and how much he's going to meet halfway and how much Leon Rose is going to let slip. I just don't want it to be where Danny Ainge says, you know what? You don't want to meet me here. You don't want to talk here. Then you know what? The trade is off the table. I don't want to hear about it anymore. And then he ends up going to Miami because, Pat Riley's always in the wind to stick it to the Knicks every single time.
I don't think they have the assets as well. But let me tell you something I just thought of. And you made some good points, some valid points. But I think this is the package that he'll settle for. 3 number 1s, Cam Reddish, Deuce McBride, and Jericho Sims. Since they lost the big guy, Jericho Sims will be a perfect fit there in Utah. So the question is, McBride, Cam, and Sims and 3 number 1s. I think Danny Ainge will take that. Be honest, you give him 3 young assets. 3 young assets, and you're giving them 3 number 1
unprotected of them. I think that would work. I still think he may want to squeeze a little more because he's an assassin for a reason. He'll probably say, "I'll take that. Throw me in 2 second round picks, and I'll take it."
I think it's on the table. I think the Knicks are involved somehow, some way. I just hope the Knicks won't give up too much for him, and I think Leon Rose won't. So I have a feeling we might not get Donovan Mitchell. If you had to guess, Juby, right now, do the Knicks get Donovan Mitchell? Yes or no?
If it's what we spoke about, my gut feeling would say yes. If they want one of the prime guys, then I would say absolutely. I don't think so.
It's about Donovan Mitchell. I can dominate a game. Look at that. Oh.
Can you imagine Madison Square Garden?
Oh. Look at that. Donovan Mitchell. This is a player. You're looking at a player that can make an impact. I'm gonna put the Donovan Mitchell here. Look at the aggressiveness, the authority, and the way he plays and how he brings the ball down the court. He's gonna bring it down your throat. I tell you. Look,
have the Garden rocking.
Papa Left said it. I know it's something that we wouldn't want to do, give up our assets. But when are you going to use those assets? If you get a player like that caliber next to Brunson, like you said, we step up to the next level. We can reach the Eastern Conference finals. Just because you have a coach who likes guys who are ready to play. This is what Tom Thibodeau loves, Juby. Players coming in that they know what they're doing.
Right.
And they can take over a game. So imagine a combination of Brunson, who doesn't need to score, facilitates, with Donovan Mitchell being that off guard and Barrett being that forward on the floor.
And Obi ready for that alley-oop, and Donovan Mitchell, and Mitchell Robinson ready for that alley-oop. Oh, I could see it, guys.
Yeah, I me too. I want to tell you, Davion Mitchell from the Sacramento Kings, their point guard, had 2 players in mind that he had so much trouble with. Watch this video for a second just to show you who he thinks gave him the toughest time and he's a good defensive player. So for him to say that, this is high props toward these 2 players.
Like Garden. I'm not gonna say I don't like Garden, but because I love guarding everyone. But Jalen Brunson, he's not skinny, but he's so skilled. He can bump you and he's just probably like the hardest person I've guarded.
Wow,
Really?
just a quick first step, huh?
Like I'm never gonna speed him up. So I'm probably him and Donovan Donovan Mitchell is definitely hard to guard too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm talking about for Jalen Brunson, like someone that's underrated like that, but like he's still up there. Like it's guarding him. Like I really look forward to guarding him every night, but I know like, man, I can't, you know what I'm saying? I can't mess up, like, cause he's gonna see it, he's gonna expose it, he's gonna score the ball. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I love guarding him.
So think about this. Davion Mitchell, he's a defensive whiz. This is the player actually Tibbs wanted to move up for the prior years to pick him up because of his defensive intensity. So for him to say, not only Jalen Brunson, he may look like a person, but he has a quick first step. And he has to be because he's very creative, he's trying to say, and give him the roughest time in the league. And then he mentioned a few seconds later, also Donovan Mitchell. So if one of the best defenders in the league, and Davion Mitchell from the Kings, is saying this, what do you think other NBA players in the league who doesn't have the high IQ of defensive play the way Davion has? This is what I'm talking about, Jubilee. We have to go, like Papa Left says, not something we would like to do, but sometimes when you have it in front of you, Danny Ainge is saying what he wants. You don't have to give him exactly what he wants. You can take a level down and be creative. Leon Rose, this is your opportunity. DeJounte Murray was someone I wanted, but if you can get Donovan Mitchell,
Forgiven.
It's not only forgiven. This is a much better player than DeJounte Murray.
No, we'll forgive him for the Julius Randle signing, the extension.
Julius is going to stay here because your point guard's going to make him better.
Well said. Well said. Listen, we're ready, man. Like I said, Knick Nation is ready. Knick fans are ready. Everybody watching, I know you're all ready, but for the right price. I know you guys are speaking in the same light as I'm speaking of. Everybody's available except the prime guys, and you already know who I think the prime guys are, especially the one standing right behind me. There's a reason I call him the king of Broadway, and this man, he hasn't even touched the surface of what a player he can become. You pair that with a Donovan Mitchell and a Brunson and an Obi Toppin, and a Mitchell Robinson. Oh my God. I'll even throw Julius, because we expect Julius, if he's still here, to have a bounce back year with a Brunson. As long as he just keeps this a little bit sealed and uses this a little bit more, I think he'll be fine, guys.
I agree.
But like Zenray said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for everything. Let us know what you guys think. Who would you include in this package? Do you like what we said? Would you tweak it a little? We would love to hear your thoughts. Please comment. Zenray always comments. If I happen to jump in his page, if I see that you guys comment, he's not available, I'll always throw my 2 cents and always give you guys my appreciation. Thank you for having me on again, guys. A lot of love from Juby the Tubi. And as always, guys, stay safe. Family above everything.
And if they pick up Donovan Mitchell, like we mentioned, the sky's the limit for Knick Nation. Once again, Knick Nation, Juby the Tubi. I am so grateful and honored to be in this space to share my thoughts and views of our Knicks, beloved Knicks. And I just want to thank you, Knick Nation, my band of brothers, to never give up, knowing that the best is yet to come with love, peace, and gratitude. Juby, thank you once again.
Of course, anytime, brother.
Zenray out.
Never give up. Never give up. Knowing that the best is yet to come with love, peace, and gratitude.